sugar for themselves, and they go to this other sugar, which is called NutraSweet, which is made from wood alcohol. Wood alcohol causes nerve damage, brain damage, aspartic acid. You have substance in it like formaldehyde, which is basically embalming fluid. This is all in aspartame, which you call NutraSweet. It causes mental confusion, headaches, which actually is a brain ache because the brain is not getting enough oxygen or nutrients because of the sugar. It causes menstruation problems because it lowers the amount of oxygen and nutrients that go to the pelvis, pelvic girdle. By that I mean the uterus and prostrate. It causes nerve damage. The muscles are not able to get enough calcium and magnesium because it's being stripped away from it by the sugar. So you're getting leg cramps in those small veins and arteries that I showed you before in the heart. They're in the eyes, and the eyes don't get enough nutrients, and that's why sugar is the leading cause of blindness in this country. Then you get birth defects because of the reproductive organs have small veins and arteries, and they're not getting enough nutrients, and that causes problems on pregnancy. And you have cancer, which is when the cells lose over 60% of their oxygen, genetic mutations, and alterations in the brain chemistry, which causes alterations in your mood and thought, which leads to mood and thought disorders, which is commonly called schizophrenia. That's what aspartame causes. Then we get to another sugar, which is very popular. We get to this other sugar known as honey. All of these sugars cause diabetes mellitus. It still causes, if it doesn't tax the pancreas directly, it attacks the liver. We have aspartame, which is toxic to the liver. You have NutraSweet, which is toxic to the liver. You have white sugar, which is toxic to the pancreas. And you have fructose, fruit sugar, which is toxic to the liver, and sucrose, which is toxic to the pancreas. So with honey, you get in two sugars that are damaging your system. So what does this honey cause? It causes kidney fatigue, end disease, blood vessel damage, hardening of the arteries, gouty arthritis, heart attacks, strokes, periodontal disease of teeth and gums. It contributes to uterine fibroids, endometriosis, cystic mastitis, breast problems, uterus problems, prostate problems. You have stomach ulcers that are caused by honey. Liver and adrenal glands get larger and get damaged. The pancreas shrinks and deteriorates and increases blood fat. It increases the uric acid, which eats away your vitamins and minerals and helps cause a condition known as arthritis or gouty arthritis. It destroys the balance in your cholesterol, alters and increases the triglycerides, your cortisones, your blood levels of insulin. It causes mood and thought disorders and hyperactivity. All sugars cause hyperactivity. All sugars cause damage to the small veins and arteries. Peripheral circulation decreases, and your feet and legs will eventually rot off. It does cause blindness, all sugars. What we're trying to do is eat the sugar in its natural state. Now, because diabetes mellitus is related to sugar, it's also related to addiction and overeating, as I mentioned before. It is stripping the body of the vital vitamins and minerals that it needs. So we have to treat a person who's addicted to sugar the same way we treat a person who is addicted to eating. It's an overeating disease because they put the sugar in everything to cause you to get addicted to everything that they sell. So we need to increase the magnesium, we need to get zinc, we need to get chromium, selenium, arginine and ornithine, which are growth hormones. We need GABA-aminobenzoic acid, serotonin, which is produced by your melanin or pineal gland. We need all of these nutrients to get away from this addiction. It's a craving. Now, let me show you in specific what I'm talking about, the ones that can really help you with the addiction. We're trying to repair the pancreas. We're trying to do something with this addiction here. This is what we need to work on. This is what I use. Now with the sugar addiction, the vanadyl sulfate, which is the one up top, vanadyl sulfate, it alone can cure the person of pancreas disease or sugar diabetes. Diabetes refers to urinating a lot. When you urinate a lot, you lose a lot of glucose and you lose a lot of minerals. anyone that has a sugar disease or diabetes mellitus or pre-diabetic condition needs to take extra minerals because they're just urinating them away. They're peeing away their vitamins and minerals. So vanadyl sulfate it helps to repair the pancreas, and it will get a person off of insulin within 6 months. It usually takes about 4 over the years that I've been using it. 4 months you can come off insulin. Chromium can do the same thing. You can take them separately or in combination. Chromium picolinate, I believe, is popularly sold. These two alone can help a person get off the insulin and, of course, repairs the damage to the pancreas. Now, when you get into the herbal fare, bilberry is used to help a person get off of insulin, and it helps repair the damage done to the pancreas. And it's also sometimes called huckleberry. Now, to help a person who is diabetic or pre-diabetic, we need to control that craving for that sugar. And what's used for craving is chickweed. So we would take the bilberry with the chickweed to help the person with the craving for the sugar. This is for the sugar. This is for the craving. Now, golden seal makes something called inulin, which is a precursor for the hormone called insulin. Now, insulin is what is used to break down the carbohydrates. That's why people take insulin injections, because they lack the amylase, which is the enzyme. It breaks down starches. It's called amylase. And a person with diabetes has an amylase deficiency, so they need that digestive enzyme called amylase. This is provided by taking bilberry or taking a precursor to that called golden seal, which turns into inulin, and inulin turns into insulin. So we will use bilberry, chickweed, golden seal, and St. John's wort to help the trigger the pineal gland, and also to help with the depression that is caused from withdrawal from sugar. But the primary treatment, if you have like all 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, we would use a teaspoon of each herb, is what you need for 1 cup of the herb. But you need 4 times as much bilberry as you do the rest of these. So you would use 4 teaspoons of bilberry, 1 of chickweed, 1 of golden seal, 1 of St. John's wort. Now, if you really have a craving, you may want to go 4 teaspoons of bilberry, 2 of chickweed, 1 of golden seal, 1 of St. John's wort. This is the ratio I'm trying to give you. 4, 2, 1, and 1. A person with a sugar craving also has a yeast infection. When the yeast needs some food, they want some sugar. A yeast infection alone will cause you to crave sugar. So we have to treat the yeast infection. That's usually done with a herb called por diaco. That's the herb that's used for yeast infection. The person with sugar diabetes, or diabetes mellitus, or sugar disease as we call it, also has worms. The golden seal will help with the worms, so I'm not worried about that. Garlic is also good for worms as well. Glycine is used because it helps the person control their behavior. I use that with hyperactive children as well. And it's naturally sweet. You can sprinkle that on food. And let's look at that again. We use vanadyl sulfate. It helps repair the pancreas, and it's used for diabetes mellitus. Chromium picolinate is also used. You can combine these two together. They're sold together in a health food store. That's on the supplement side. On the herbal side, we're using bilberry. 4 teaspoons of bilberry for each teaspoon of chickweed, golden seal, and St. John's wort. That will help a person get off of this sugar addiction. Bilberry will do it alone. It helps a person get off of insulin injections, as well as the vanadyl sulfate. We also have to treat the yeast infection and worms, and to help control the behavior, or as a natural sweetener instead of the honey and the white sugar, we use glycine. Now, the intricacies of this disease is that what happens is that all the systems get involved, as I mentioned before. That's what makes it so complex, because it attacks the whole system. You have the pineal gland, the pituitary, the thyroid, the thymus, the adrenal glands, the liver, the ovaries, all these organs get weakened by the sugar. Therefore, a company that specializes in helping to get you addicted to foods will focus on the solar kind of colors. They will use a lot of yellow, green, and orange in their packaging. They will compose songs, jingles that focus around the musical note E and F. They will use the numbers 3 and 8 and 4 in the design in some way, and they will use these letters to name their product in some way, because it focuses on what they're trying to get you addicted to. The liver works with the adrenals, and the adrenals work with the kidneys, which means it works with the reproductive system. We have complementary systems. We have this system that complements this system. So they would focus on the color orange in the musical note D and the number 2 and 9 and these letters.